Government rowing back on net zero policy and commitments, it really speaks of chaos at the heart of government. It's slowly appearing like that there is no plan to reach net zero, and what the Prime Minister is suggesting will actually harm the cost of living. So not make it better, but things like scrapping insulation targets for private rented homes, that's going to make people's bills higher in the sector where people's incomes are lowest. So it really doesn't make any sense from that point of view. But also it's incredibly damaging to investor confidence. And if you're a business now looking to invest in heat pumps or electric vehicles, there's a big question mark about why you'd put your money here when we haven't got any long-term policy stability or any leadership. So the phase out of new petrol and diesel cars from 2030 was a big chunk of our emissions savings as we head up to 2050. And there's a big gap now that the Prime Minister needs to fill if he wants to reach his legally binding target. This has to be replaced by some other way of reducing emissions, or we're simply not going to get there. And the big thing really is this has been a long-term policy. The industry was prepared for it, and now a sudden change can really spook them and shake their confidence in the UK. So the UK at the moment exports a lot of its electric vehicles, for example, and I think about £13 billion worth of exports are at risk unless we start to make the transition to electric vehicle manufacturing. And that's because the rest of the world is moving to electric vehicles. So if we delay our target or scrap it altogether, we're only really doing damage to our own business, because going green is the way the rest of the world is going. And we're in danger of falling behind that and missing out on that growth that comes with it. Most of these targets or policies which are potentially being scrapped were set well into the future anyway, so 2030, 2035, that time roughly. So actually the government scrapping these things doesn't help with the cost of living now, and therefore it won't help them to win votes as we run up to the election. So it's a bit of a confused approach where they're talking about lowering the cost of living and getting off gas to improve our energy independence, but actually they're doing the complete opposite and keeping us more reliant on fossil fuels, which do hike up our bills.